When the tables turned, Chapter 1. Roadside Trouble. It was a humid July afternoon in Georgia. The sun beat down on the blacktop like it had a grudge, and the air was thick enough to taste. On a quiet stretch of Highway 85, the Simmons family was heading back from a weekend getaway in the mountains. Marcus Simmons, a tall, broad-shouldered man in his late 30s, drove their dark blue V. Beside him sat his wife, Alicia, a civil rights attorney with a calm, sharp presence. In the back, their two children, Malik, 11, and Zoe, 8, played a word game on a tablet. The family laughed, sang along to a Marvin Gaye classic, and soaked in the last moments of peace before the work week resumed. As they passed a gas station, the SUV slowed for a second. Then, flashing red and blue lights lit up behind them. A Dodge Charger from the county sheriff's department swerved in close. Marcus's heart sank. He pulled over immediately, hands at 10 and 2, Chapter 2. The officer deputy Colin Rourke approached the car. A tall white man with a buzz cut and mirrored sunglasses, he radiated aggression. Without introduction, he barked. License and registration. Marcus handed them over without a word. Rourke took a long pause, staring into the vehicle. His hand never left the grip of his holstered gun. "Were you headed back home to Atlanta?" Marcus said calmly. "What were you doing out here?" Rourke's tone tightened. "A weekend getaway," Alicia said, gently placing a hand on Marcus's shoulder. Rourke smirked. "Sure. Mind stepping out of the vehicle?" Sir Marcus paused, eyes meeting Alicia's. She gave a slight nod. He stepped out. "Turn around." "Hands on the hood? What's the probable cause, officer?" Marcus asked, voice still calm. "You fit a description," Rourke snapped. "Black male, blue SUV. Possible drug trafficking. You should know how this goes." Chapter 3. The search, despite Alicia's protests, and Malik's confused, frightened face pressed against the window. Rourke conducted a rough, unlawful search of Marcus and the vehicle. He found nothing. Not even a speeding ticket on Marcus's record. But he wasn't done. "You're nervous." "That's suspicious. I'm nervous because I'm being harassed in front of my children." Marcus said, "You people always play the victim at that moment." Alicia stepped out of the car. Phone in hand, filming this is harassment. "I'm a civil rights attorney. You violated multiple constitutional protections. If you don't cease this unlawful detainment, I'll file suit before sunrise." Rourke's laugh was short-lived. I said, "Get back in the finish that sentence carefully," she said. "We're also carrying federal credentials." That's when Marcus took a laminated card from his wallet and held it out. "Special Agent Marcus Simmons." FBI. Rourke froze, his face drained of color. He snatched the ID and examined it like a counterfeit bill. "What division? Public Corruption Task Force," Marcus replied. Irony. Chapter 4. Panic sets in. Rourke began to stammer. "List? I didn't know that much is obvious," Marcus said. Reclaiming his badge, Alicia pulled out her own. "And I work with the Southern Center for Human Rights. We're suing 5 counties right now for racial profiling. This one just made the list." The deputy's posture shrunk. "Maybe we got off on the wrong foot." "You mean the foot you used to step on my rights?" Marcus asked. Chapter 5. Accountability. By evening, the video Alicia recorded had been submitted to the FBI's Internal Affairs Division. 2 days later, it was leaked. Online outrage erupted. Hashtags trended. News stations across the country aired the video. Calls flooded the sheriff's department. Civil rights groups demanded an investigation within a week. Rourke was placed on administrative leave. By the end of the month, he had resigned under pressure, but that wasn't the end. Marcus and Alicia didn't want revenge. They wanted change. They began holding town hall meetings across the state, inviting law enforcement officers, citizens, and lawmakers to discuss policing, race, and reform. Marcus even testified before Congress on implicit bias in law enforcement. His presence, a black man, an FBI agent, a father carried weight that cut through political noise. Chapter 6. The lesson one day. Months later, as Marcus dropped Malik off at school, his son asked, "Dad, were you scared that day?" Marcus looked at him, smiled, and replied, "A little, but scared men don't stay silent. We speak. We fight. We change things." Malik thought for a second. "Can I be like you when I grow up?" Marcus ruffled his hair. "I hope you never have to be. I hope by the time you grow up, men like Rourke will be the exception, not the norm." Epilogue. The Simmons family continued their advocacy, never letting the incident define them, but letting it fuel a mission bigger than themselves. Racism didn't vanish, but neither did their resolve, and sometimes all it takes to shake the system is for the right person to pull out the right badge.